Hello, supporters of Minneapolis Public Schools. My name is Heather. Here's what happened at our last school board meeting of this school year. So, kind of a couple things to note. The school board did vote to approve a budget cut that ends up cutting $75 million and releases a lot of positions. Not clear a lot of things on that, like where we got the number $75 million, not clear what communities we're actually engaged with for this process, but I've said all those things in other videos, so I'm going to keep moving forward with this one. The real crux of this meeting was a finding. So we had a person come in and do sort of like an analysis on what is our enrollment going to look like in this district for next year and all the way through for 10 years from now. And she shared a lot of information. And I just want to share with you a couple of key findings. I think it's going to set the stage for what's coming next for our district and our school board. So remember that our funding is not enough and our COVID money has gone away. We are at a deficit. We will be running at a deficit next year. And what we learned this week was all the ways in which our enrollment is not going to go up. So some things to keep in mind. One of the reasons that our enrollment looked higher over the last year was that we actually had a lot of fifth grade seniors or fifth year seniors. So some pandemic kiddos, right? They were credit deficient, so they were still enrolled. That is not a trend that's going to keep happening. Our district has never bounced back from the pandemic. Enrollment dropped during the pandemic and we have never regained those kiddos. Our birth rates in the city of Minneapolis have dropped and will continue to drop. It's like 14.3% lower. And we are in, for all intents and purposes, what we call a depressive enrollment state. So what that means is that, one other thing, charter schools are actually a lot of competition for our public schools. A lot more kiddos than I realized go to charter schools and neighboring school districts. And so that's also a key factor in the enrollment plan for Minneapolis Public Schools. And so with all of those things in mind, for the year 34-35, which feels like a really long way away, but as a parent who has kiddos going into their senior year, telling you it goes fast, folks, our enrollment could sit as low as 21,000 kiddos. And so right now we're sitting at, 28-ish. It's not going to stay that way. We are not bringing in as many kindergartners as we are graduating seniors. And so that is reality. So what that means is with not enough money and with no signs of our enrollment improving, although my nudge maybe to the district would be that it seems like there has never been more of a time to engage with community, to find out what they need from us to be different in Minneapolis Public Schools, and to invite families back to our district. Just going to name that. Seems like if there was one thing our board and our superintendent wanted to work on, it would be like, how do we cut funding and how do we increase enrollment? Those feel like really important things. Anyway, along with maybe some academics in there. But this board is going to have to get serious about what they're going to do because they are going to run out of money. We have a savings account. We'll be dipping into that more next year. I look for our finance person to ask for permission to go below that 8% savings. So we are getting to a place where this board is going to have a board retreat and they're going to need to start having some real serious conversations about what they're going to do with the budget crisis that they have pushed off for now far too long. Also want to name that is the reality for many districts in our metro. And so I'll be spending part of the summer going to school board meetings in other districts to listen to see where do we have concerns, shared concerns, where do we have different concerns, just to be learning. And frankly, what school board meetings are interesting to me. I might be the only person out there who they are interesting for. And so with that, friends, we are on summer vacay officially in MPS, and we'll be looking at the board retreat to see what they have to say, and we'll be watching for things as we get ready to go again in August. Thank you so much for listening, for caring, for showing up for Minneapolis Public Schools.